Oatmeal is supposed to be one of the healthiest breakfasts you can eat, so why do some people finish a bowl, check their blood sugar later, and wonder, why is that number so high? The oatmeal itself may not be the real problem. The mistake may be what you add to it, and how many sources of carbohydrate quietly end up in the same meal. Today, let's look at how a healthy-looking bowl of oatmeal can become very different from what you expected. Imagine a 67-year-old man named Robert. Robert recently learned that his blood sugar was higher than it should be, so he decided to improve his breakfast. He stopped eating donuts and sugary cereal. Instead, every morning, he made a large bowl of instant oatmeal. Then he added 1 whole banana, a spoonful of honey, a handful of dried cranberries, and a glass of orange juice. Robert felt good about this meal. It had oats, fruit, and nothing fried. It looked healthy. But around 2 hours later, he often felt tired and hungry again. He would walk back into the kitchen and grab crackers or a granola. Robert assumed it was just his age, but the real issue may have been the way he built his breakfast. Oatmeal contains carbohydrates. That does not automatically make oatmeal unhealthy. The problem is that Robert did not eat oatmeal by itself. He added a banana, honey, sweetened dried fruit, and orange juice. Each item added more carbohydrate to the same meal. Think of it like filling a shopping cart. One item does not seem like much, but after adding one thing, then another, the cart becomes fuller than you expected. That was Robert's mistake. It was not one terrible ingredient. It was several healthy-looking ingredients stacked together. And because the meal had very little protein, it might not keep him satisfied for very long. This is why the question on the thumbnail is healthy or not. The honest answer is it depends on the portion, the toppings, and the rest of the meal. This is where many people become confused. A food can contain useful nutrients and still affect blood sugar. Oats can provide fiber. Bananas contain vitamins and minerals. Fruit is not automatically bad, but that does not mean the amount and combination no longer matter. Your body does not look at the package and think, this says natural, so I will ignore the sugar. Honey still adds sugar. Juice still adds. Carbohydrate-sweetened dried fruit can add more than people realize. Robert was not eating obvious junk food. That is exactly why the mistake was difficult to see. Robert did not need to stop eating oatmeal completely. He only needed to change the way he prepared it. First, he switched from sweetened instant oatmeal to plain oats. Then he used a smaller portion. Instead of adding a whole banana, honey, and dried fruit together, he chose a small amount of berries. He replaced the orange juice with water or unsweetened coffee. Most importantly, he added protein. Some mornings, he ate eggs on the side. Other mornings, he added plain Greek yogurt, peanut butter, or a small handful of nuts. The meal was less sweet, but it was more balanced, and instead of feeling hungry again 2 hours later, he was more satisfied through the morning. The lesson was not, oatmeal is bad. The lesson was, stop judging the oatmeal alone. Look at the entire breakfast. Before making your next bowl, ask yourself 3 simple questions. First, is the oatmeal already sweetened? Flavored oatmeal may already contain added sugar before you add anything else. Second, how many sweet ingredients am I stacking? Banana, honey, dried fruit, and juice may be too much when used together in the same meal. Third, where is the protein? Eggs, plain yogurt, nuts, or another protein source may make the meal more balanced and more filling. You do not need to be afraid of oatmeal. You simply need to pay attention to how you build the bowl. Robert thought he was eating one healthy breakfast, but he was really combining several sources of carbohydrate into one meal. The oatmeal was not necessarily the problem. The combination was. So remember, watch the portion. Be careful with sweet toppings. Avoid stacking several sugary ingredients, and add protein when it fits your eating plan. What do you usually add to your oatmeal? Banana, honey, berries, nuts, or something else? Tell us in the comments, and subscribe for more simple explanations about food and blood sugar without confusing medical language. This video is for general education and does not replace personal advice from your doctor or dietitian.